Welcome to the Up and Down with Daniel and Upendo, bringing together two friends who have something to say about everything and even more to do about nothing. Bonded over more than 15 years of career milestones, boyfriends, husbands, hairstyles, and an epidemic. Upendo and I share an infectious joy for life that is only brightened by the colorful cast of friends, family, and characters we will introduce to you throughout this show. The Up and Down offers you a glimpse into our lives as upwardly mobile Gen Xers with a passion for all things downtown. During the day, we are professional social workers ready to serve our community and raise up justice. But at night, we are equally ready to celebrate our shared thirst for entertainment, culture, travel, food, and just about any damn thing else. Sit back to learn, love, and laugh with two authentic souls who are dear friends, committed in our adventures to leave the world safer, happier, and shinier than it was when we came into it. This is the Up and Down. Here we go again, Upenda.
Well, how are you, Daniel?
Wow, that is a sexy little voice.
So I have to tell you, I was listening to you do the intro, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a blockbuster movie coming out right now.
I know, it's kind of intense, right?
It was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see the trailer for this movie. Oh my God. You do have a wonderful voice.
Well, thank you very much.
You're a singer, aren't you?
I am a singer. I'm a singer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe someday I'll sing on this show.
You know, we would like for you to sing on the show one day, but not today, buddy.
Who's the collective we that you refer
Me.
to? Okay, good. I just want to make sure there weren't other people plotting against me.
Well, you know, my 10 friends that's in my head. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So Danielle, let's talk for a minute about, we have been going through this pandemic and we have not traveled.
Oh my God, I love traveling. I love traveling.
Do you miss it?
Upendo, not only do I miss traveling, but I also miss my frequent flyer miles. I literally was looking at my American Airlines miles the other day, and I realized I might not get my actual membership platinum status this upcoming year.
You know, that's going to be pretty awful for you not to get.
Talk about that bougie little place we live in the world.
No, you live in that bougie place.
Okay. Paul, I will,
Yes.
I will use the I term.
Yes.
But literally, I was both horrified, but also really, really sad when I realized I might actually not get some of my perks this coming year.
So I was thinking the other day, it's funny you say that. I found my drink tickets for Southwest. They expired. So I was thinking,
when do
to
they
myself,
expire? Have they expired?
Yeah, they're about to expire.
Oh, no. That will not do.
But I was like, maybe I should reach out to Southwest and say, are you all sending updated drink coupons for the ones that have expired because you couldn't travel because of the pandemic? So I was thinking, like, I should probably call them because I can't let these drink tickets. Do you know how popular I am on a plane with those drink tickets?
Really? You hand them out as currency? Oh my goodness. Well, if I actually flew on Southwest with you, I would experience that, but I have not ventured on Southwest with you.
I'm like one of the most popular people on Southwest when I fly because I fly so much on Southwest. I have all these drink tickets. I'm like, would you like a drink?
That is hysterical.
And that's the best come on, especially if you're sitting next to a hot guy. Can I buy you a drink?
Really? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to explain or tell us about one exciting come on that you might have experienced on a Southwest flight using your drink tickets.
My drink tickets. So this probably happened. I was going to. Well, this is years ago. I was going to. We used to have our main flagship for our office used to be in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So we would fly quite often up there for meetings and stuff. And I do remember this one time I was at this bar having a drink before I got on the flight, talking to this guy. Nothing to look at, but just nice.
Okay.
Just nice enough. And then I get to the gate for Southwest. He's at the gate too. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were in the flight. He said, yeah. And I said, well, can I buy you a drink? And he said, sure. And I handed him a ticket. And I was like, should I put my number on it? And then he's like, I'm married.
Oh, jeez. Wah, wah.
But I was trying to use, he took the drink ticket. Married and all.
Wait, do you hear our sound effects guy actually throwing in some sound effects with us? All right, now. Episode, what is this? Our episode? I always have to keep track of our episodes. This is episode 4, although we don't know when you'll be releasing this. Yes. Yeah. Wait, can we get that one more time, sound effect guy? Oh,
but seriously,
I'll be here all night.
He seriously took the ticket.
He took the ticket. Did he use the ticket?
Oh, okay. If you're on a Southwest flight, you use your drink ticket. Matter of fact, when sometimes the Southwest flight attendants say, due to turbulence, we're gonna cut down our serving time. You should hear that cabin. But I got a free ticket. Well, I got a free.
All right, so what you miss most about flying are free drink tickets.
Yes.
What I miss most about flying thus far is my free points that I get for my flying. But no, honestly, professionally, I have been blessed with an opportunity to be able to travel around the country and being able to speak at different conferences and being able to learn and grow by experiencing other high-performing communities around the world, really, in the social service arena. So I do miss that.
Oh, yes. I miss that too.
In fact, Upendo, I looked at from the time that this epidemic, our pandemic started, I was looking at my travel agenda, and there weren't 1, 2, 3, there were 5 trips that I had to cancel in a matter of 2 months in order. And there were wonderful places like my home state of California. I was supposed to go up to Raleigh, North Carolina. I forget some of the other cities I was supposed to go to.
To DC.
To DC. And in order to speak. Oh, absolutely. I was going to speak
at St. Louis.
And St. Louis. And I missed the opportunity not only to see the world really, but to learn from all of the other professionals in our industry. And
absolutely.
That has been a huge loss for me personally.
It is. And I, like you, had several things scheduled that I had to cancel. But I do remember the last travel that I did that really was one of the most powerful summits and learning was recently I flew to Oakland, California to deal with
Oakland, California.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but it was a summit, a day and a half summit that focused on the housing racial equity issues that's impacting that community. And it brought in all these foundations to talk about the work that they're doing around diversity, equity, inclusion, and power, but specific to how they're addressing the issue of housing in California. And it was just so great to soak in that energy, to be around a think tank, to really understand what we're going to be. The organization we work for, that's the whole point of me going, is figuring out how to take these lessons and how to embed this in the future of our work.
Absolutely.
And
when was that trip?
That trip actually was in February, right before everything shut down. But wow. in fact, I posted on my Instagram account, it was the last day, that morning, the mayor of San Francisco shut the city down because they actually had that huge boat that came in that was a bunch of
the cruise ship that was coming in,
yeah.
Right?
And she shut down the city, and I posted, okay, so this is the look you give when the mayor of San Francisco shut down the city for COVID-19, and you still in the city, like you still got to fly out of San Francisco, like really right over the bay, but I do hear what you're saying. I do miss the learning. I miss the engagement, the networking. And we still have been able to do it, but we're not doing it in person. We're actually doing it through webinars that's been facilitated by these think tanks and from these foundations, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. I love the travel.
Yeah.
I love to travel. What was the last trip that you went on that sort of rocked your world? I think I know the answer to this.
That rocked my world?
Just what was the last really fun trip that you went on, whether it was work related or not work related?
That rocked my world, I would say, when I went to France.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, and the reason for that is that it wasn't your typical tourist trip.
Okay.
It truly was about taking the back roads, doing the countryside, doing the Capes in France, experiencing a season, which was oyster bed, which is, I'm going to say this wrong, huîtres. That's how they say oysters in France. Huîtres.
Say it again? Huîtres.
Which is oysters.
Okay.
And in the middle of that season, to literally eat oysters from the sea to the table, watching them bring it, it's like, oh my God. It was really the most amazing trip I went on because of the tour guide, who should actually go into the business of touring, just detailed everything else. Are you
talking about our friend?
Yeah, JP.
Yeah.
I ate at a Michelin restaurant.
I ate at my first Michelin restaurant this year as well. So we both had our first Michelin experience this year.
Yes.
Wow, we have come up in the world.
Yeah.
Did you even know what Michelin was when you were growing up in Tallahassee?
No. Okay, you've been to Tallahassee. I love Tallahassee, but I'm not sure if we have a Michelin in Tallahassee. That's all I'm saying.
Was in London. I was in London with some wonderful friends, some friends from Miami, all of them in the design world. Mm-hmm. And we went to London and then France right before this pandemic began. And we went to a fabulous restaurant. I don't remember what I ate. I remember I was still hungry when I finished. And I remembered it was much more expensive than I ever have ever spent on a meal. Yeah. But
how many courses?
There were, I believe we had 4 different courses and vino included. But it was such I'm so sorry. I wasn't preparing to talk about this. So I don't remember the name of the restaurant right now. I'll remember it on our next episode. I'll share it with the people listening to us. But it was my first Michelin experience, and the service was amazing. The decor of this restaurant was so beautiful. It had actually the most famous staircase filmed or photographed in all of London.
Wow.
Is in this restaurant.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
And the food was good.
Oh, the food was wonderful. Don't ask me what I ate. I don't remember. But it was wonderful. It's about the experience, right? When you do these things.
Oh, absolutely.
So what was your Michelin restaurant experience like?
It was amazing. It was a very quaint, small restaurant. We had 4 or 5 courses. But the interesting thing about the dinner is, you're right. The food was small portion. Like, these people don't eat over here. But then I think about it, what we look like and then what Europeans look like is clear. We are very much into larger portions, and we don't get our larger portions. We hungry. But it was interesting. The food was amazing. I ate stuff that I would never eat, but in the time that we ordered the food, me and the person I was with, he ordered one dish. He ordered the seafood dish. I ordered another seafood dish. And then when our meals came, we both liked the aesthetic of the others.
Did you switch?
Dish, and we switched.
You did not.
We switched.
That's one. Did you both share though?
We did share. We took a bite, but basically he saw my dish, I saw his dish, and I was like, because we were both thinking about each other's dishes and decided to go with what we went with. And then when the dish came, it was like, okay, I actually want your dish. He's like, I actually want your dish. And we switched. And the food melted in your mouth. And the vino that came with it was amazing. And then because the restaurant was on a bay, so to speak, there was this beautiful, beautiful sunset. The seagulls was coming in. It was a nice breeze. I was like, boy, I would love to be with a man right now.
Oh,
I was with 2 men, but unfortunately, they weren't with me.
Were they with each other?
Maybe they were.
They were definitely with each other.
Wow,
We're being
Yes,
guarded.
they were with each other.
Absolutely, because you have lots of gay friends.
I only have one. It's you.
Please. I'm just the most fabulous gay friend that you have.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, if I'm the only gay friend, why do you say
You are.
Okay.
You are.
All right.
You are.
So, traveling is something that I love to do, and I have had the privilege to do both professionally and personally. We're coming up on the end of this segment, but maybe we'll come back next time and we'll talk about some of our favorite places we've been and where is the next place that you think you want to go once this pandemic ends, because we're coming close to the end. The airports are about to open up.
Yeah, the airport's about to open up, but the question would be, do we really and truly want to travel?
That's an interesting question. I'll tell you right now, I do. Yo quiero travel, llevaré. Yes. My Spanish is getting better, Upendo.
Okay, he just sounded like a telenovela.
Hey, I'm looking for a job. Not a job. No, I love my job. I'm not looking for a job, but I'm always looking for an acting job. Hey.
Yes. So it's been great. Thank you for sharing yourself with me today, Daniel.
We're not saying goodbye. We have one more segment, Upendo.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh.
We have one more segment.
Yes,
we're going to do one more segment. We're going to talk about where we want to go, and then we will finish.
Thank you for being on task.
All right. Here we are. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back, Upendo, for our next segment of what we want to talk about, all things traveling. We were talking about earlier the impact that this pandemic has had on our traveling, both professionally and personally. And I'm just really curious, as I start to imagine what life looks like once we get out of this stage of the pandemic, where am I going to go? First of all, where are the places I loved to have experienced having gone to? And then where am I going next? So is there a place that you, first of all, have missed out on being able to go to because of this? Not where you're going to go once this is done, but where has this pandemic not allowed you to travel to that you really miss?
Well, I think not allowed me to travel, I would say back home to Tallahassee. Not allowed me to travel to go back home is one. Not allowed me to travel to Tampa to our quarterly meetings when we get to see our coworkers, because we both work in our individual offices. And so that camaraderie is so important to who we are as an organization. So those are the places I think when I'm not allowed to travel, that I think I would go. And this time of the year too, Key West, the last couple of years I have been blessed by, having someone in my life that loves this place. But let me be clear, I introduced Key West to this person and they have fallen truly in love with it. So being the loyalist person that I am, I'm loyal to the cause of, okay, your first time was with me in Key West. You love going to Key West. I'll support you going to Key West. So this is a time we would go again as well. So the Key West, I can't imagine what Key West looks like. Just completely decimated that community with no travel. Because it's a tourist community.
Absolutely. And I will tell you that Key West is on my list as well, that this pandemic has been a place where I sometimes take for granted. It's so close to us,
yes.
Right? I'm in Miami, so it is, within less than an hour, I can be in the Keys, and within 2.5 hours, I can be in Key West. And I will tell you, there have been times where my instinct has been, okay, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything. Let me jump in my car and jump to the Keys. But you can't go to the Keys right now. They've actually blocked off the Keys. When you get to Key Largo, there are, what do they call the guards? I don't know what they call the guards.
Armed reserves.
Is the armed reserves. So they're
National Guard.
The National Guards are actually sitting at the the beginning of the Keys, and they're preventing individuals who aren't residents from going in. And that really sucks, because there were times when there would be nothing better than just to drive down that road, go over that 7-mile bridge, and land into that beautiful world of Key West. I love Key West.
Yes. And it's funny because as you're saying, that drive, that is actually the beauty about Key West. It's not only getting to the end, but the drive too. That's a beautiful drive.
Yes, it is.
But according to the Miami Herald, the Florida Keys are set to reopen to visitors on June 1st. The hotels will reopen and checkpoints will come to an end. Just wanted to let you know that.
I'm so glad we have someone to give us information about the latest opening of the Key.
I can't even speak. I'm going to need a moment. You know how they say people that get in production of entertainment really are at heart entertainers themselves? I think our behind the scenes director and producer and sound editor and ... is starting to show his desire to be on microphone. Do we need to add another? I can't speak at all.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
That just came out of nowhere.
No, I don't know.
I did not even see that coming.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Factual person, providing the current facts of the pandemic, absolutely associated with travel. I love it.
But you are so correct in that being in South Florida, we do have the ability to get in the car and drive further south to experience all that the Keys, not only just Key West, all of the Keys that have to offer.
Yes. But one of the other places I wanted to highlight before I think about where I'm going next, we talked about this pandemic impacting some of our travel, and I was supposed to go to San Diego this year for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation that I am in a fellowship with. I'm coming to the end of my fellowship. Yay! That would have been a really good time, Mr. Soundman, to do a clap or something like that if you had.
Late, but it's here.
Yeah, better late than never. So I was supposed to go to San Diego, but most importantly, not only was I going to see my best buddy Robert from my fellowship experience, and I was going to see my buddy Danny, who I went to college with in San Diego, but once I was done with my fellowship, and Grace, I love you, Grace, I was going to see you there too, and there are so many wonderful buddies from Los Angeles in my fellowship that I was going to see, but once that was done, I was going to go see my family. And my little sister and my older sister, they are still living out there in California, and the rest of the Gibson family. And I was going to see my sister and her new baby. And I was really excited as an uncle to be able to see my family. And it just breaks my heart that I haven't been able to have that journey. And so I really do look forward to the opportunity to make up on that and not being able to go to my home state of California.
Yeah. So you're not going to California. So we would like to know, where are you going to visit next?
All right.
Okay, so I'm just completely floored. Wow.
I think we have a third host, Upendo.
I think so too. Like that came out of nowhere. I didn't even see that coming.
Yeah, can we mark this down? A 4th episode, segment 3, third host is identified.
Yes.
Okay, but yes, that's a good question. Where are we going to go to next now that we are coming to the point where they're going to open up the airports, right? Where are you going next, Upendo? Where's the first place you are traveling, not for work, but for fun? And don't say the Keys.
I'm not going to say the Keys, even though that's probably likely that would be the first place I travel right away. But I do have a desire to travel to southern Italy.
Ooh.
And I want to travel to Greece. I've never been to Greece before.
Oh, do you know where in Greece?
The
Mykonos. Yes. Mykonos is wonderful. I had a friend who had his 50th birthday party in Mykonos, and we had a wonderful time there.
I would love to go to Greece and definitely southern Italy, and I love Italy, period. I would go back to Italy just to eat the food. I mean, that's what you go for, is to eat the food. But yeah, I think right away locally would probably be Key West, and then for actual getting on the plane and traveling out, I would love to go to southern Italy or Greece. Now, my dream trip is the Fiji Islands.
Ooh, that's amazing. Is that something that you're ready to do right now?
No, because I can't afford it. I'm 80% bitch.
We are part of the 80%
club.
family. Absolutely. Until we get out of the 80% club. Fiji might be a little more difficult.
Yes. It's probably cheap right now.
Actually, you're absolutely
right.
Where
do you want to go, Daniel?
First of all, Italy is my favorite country. Hands down, I am part Italian and I love Italian culture. I love Italian. I love the country of Italy. But I believe the next stop that I am going to is a place that I have really been focusing on in the last month or two.
And that's another story.
Absolutely. I am thinking of going to, do you hear music? What is that music? Yes. Yeah. I actually am thinking that music's a little loud, Mr. Music Producer. Can you bring it down a little bit? I am thinking of Spain. I have been to
Why do you want to go to Spain?
Oh, well, I don't know if we need to get into the details, but I will tell you that Spain, I've been to Spain. Can you turn it down a little bit more, Mr. Producer? I believe that Spain, the way I love Italy, I also love Spain. I've been to Barcelona. I've been to Madrid. I've been to Sitges. And recently I have been communicating with a friend of mine. I think I've talked about him on another episode, and I'm from Andalusia, which is a southern region of Spain, and we have been sharing recipes and we have been talking about the different culture, and I'm really fascinated by the concept of southern Spain. And so I do think that once we get the clearance, I am going to be looking for the best price ticket to get out to southern Spain in the province of Andalusia. And you have to say Andalusia.
Andalusia.
Right? No, not Andalusia. Andalusia.
Andalusia.
There is a little bit of a lisp when they talk in the southern Spain. But I am really looking forward to that, actually, seeing that region of Spain and the world.
I would love to go to Spain, too. It's not on my list, but on my immediate list, but I definitely would love to go to Spain for the tapas.
The tapas. Oh my goodness. You've not been to Spain, right?
I've never been to Spain.
There is something called pan de tomates.
What does that mean?
And that means bread of tomatoes, tomato bread, essentially. And it's just a piece of bread. It's a Spanish bread. I would be ignorant and call it a piece of sourdough bread, but it's basically like a bruschetta kind of. But then they get the olive oil and the oils from the tomatoes, and they create a spread, and they spread it on top of the bread, and then you might put either some prosciutto or some other kind of meat or other topping, but it really is the taste of the olive oil and the tomatoes on top of that bread that just melts in your mouth, and you can't get the flavor anywhere else other than Spain. The best and only, I've tried to recreate it here in the States, and you just can't.
That sounds
Pan de
delicious. I want to go to Spain to just travel and eat tapas everywhere.
Love it.
And Spanish wine.
Yes. How come we don't do more tapas styles here? I mean, we can go to tapas restaurants, but the idea of having small portions and being able to sort of do a little taste test.
Can I tell you why?
Why is that?
Are you really want to know why?
I'm sitting back. I'm ready for this.
Because you are an American.
But I love being an American.
I don't think that is in question, but your question is, why don't we do it? Because American eating is completely different from European eating.
Absolutely.
I mean, we just talked about food in our last segment about Michelin restaurants.
Yes.
And we were still hungry.
I was surprised that in Miami, this is a world-class city, right? Miami has really boomed in my time, 15 years of living here, or 17 years of living in South Florida. Miami has truly become a top destination in the world. There's not a Michelin restaurant in Miami.
Should we open up a Michelin restaurant?
I think we should. I don't know, Mr. Producer, Director, do you think maybe you could help us out in creating? Oh, we don't really want to hear from you. Do you think you could help?
So what could be the the focus of our Michelin restaurant, should we have a theme? Should it be around, some kind of culture, some kind of, maybe we should fly, like a unicorns, or I don't know, to make it.
Yeah, we're going to have to come back to that. I can't really think exactly what my theme of a restaurant is. In fact, I used to work in restaurants for many, many years, and I don't really know if I want to have the stress of working in a restaurant or running a restaurant or even owning it. But I love to eat at them. This has been fun talking about travel. Travel is something near and dear to us. Yeah. It's been just this activity of thinking about where I want to go has helped me leave this pandemic for a moment.
But even more simpler.
What's that?
Just something so simple. I mean, because I've been in my house. I've been staying in my house. I'm going to travel to the park and have a picnic.
Aw, that's nice.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like I have this huge picnic kit. Remember the picnic kit I got for Christmas?
Absolutely. From your uncle. Your uncle gave you this beautiful, we only have a couple minutes, but describe your picnic kit.
It's like this backpack that is a picnic kit. It has plates, wine glasses, everything you need to do a picnic except the food, basically.
That's amazing. Can I be invited to your inaugural picnic?
Well, I was hoping for something that after the picnic, the person can come back to my house and then we can, let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It probably won't happen because I don't know anybody.
Okay, well, we can think about that later. But I will say that I hope that you get to travel where you want to travel to.
And I hope you get to travel to where you want to travel to.
And I am optimistic that we are going to get to the place where we are able to finally spread our wings and fly. But for now,
we're flying off this particular segment.
It's not an installment. It's a segment.
Wow. Good for you, Daniel.
We are growing and we are learning from this. We are flying, and it is such a joy to be flying. Our wings are flapping. And this is the Up and Down Show. I am Daniel.
And I am Upendo, and thank you for listening.
Amen. Ciao, bellos.
Ciao, bellos.
Ciao, bellos.
Bye.
Ah!